Okay, so what we're going to do now is build the chest and hip rig. So we're going to do this in two stages. First, I'm going to show you the basic version, and then we're going to make it a bit more advanced. So go ahead and press the shift key down and turn on the non-deform bones. And then go ahead and turn on the deform bone layer. Now, what you want to do is press the 1 key to go to your front view and go ahead and switch to edit mode. And what you want to do is select the center chest and hip bones. Now go ahead and press the 3 key to go to your right view. Now here I'm going to simply just enable the names. We don't actually need the axis for this. Go ahead and zoom in a bit. Do Shift D to duplicate. Right click to cancel, press the control key down, click on this green arrow and take it to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now we're going to do the middle mouse button to rotate the view kind of like this. And go ahead and switch to pose mode. Now here we're going to click on the duplicated copy, press the shift key down, then click on the deform. Then just do Shift Control C and now do copy transform. So you're going to do this on all of these bones. Just do copy transforms until you get to the hips. Now over here, when we do copy transforms, because it's the parent, it's of course going to move the figure. So go ahead and press the 3 key and now press the tab key to go into edit mode. So now we're going to put these bones back. Click on this. Click on this, and here you might want to just rotate to just get to these bones. Press the 3 key. Now here we're going to press the control key down, click on this green arrow and take it to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Now press the M key and put these layers on the non-deform layer. Let's go ahead and just select the non-deform layer. Now here we're going to click on each bone and press the Y key to sever all the parent-child relationships. And then what you want to do is go ahead and go to the bone tab and make sure that the deform is off on all of these bones. Now here we're going to simply just double click the dev and type in M, and over here on the 001 just type in C. So this basically means that this is the mechanical bone and it's going to be a child of another bone. So do this for all of these bones. And finally the hips over here. Okay, now what I'm going to show you here is that this bone, we had given it the dev dot chest dot upper parent, right? So as I said, we're really not going to involve the dev bones with the module-based system. But in this case, we will have to a bit later. So you will see why that is. But for now, I just want you to click on this, press the shift key down, and then click on this one, and just do Control P and do keep offset. The reason for this is we're first going to build the simple version of the chest rig. But when we build the advanced version, we will simply change the parent of this bone back to the deform. Remember, that's not really going to be a big deal, is because this bone is still just going to be a child, but it will still be part of this module. So even if you decide to delete this module, it's still not going to affect the dev bone. Anyways, go ahead and click this and make sure that the parent is set up correctly, which should be this bone over here. Now, what we're going to do is go ahead and click on the head of this bone. Now here I'm just going to show you that you can actually press the shift key down and click here. this will typically select the M dot spine. But if you click again, it will simply select this. Now, don't get frustrated by this process for some reason if it's not letting you select this individually. You will simply have to click on each of these joints and press the E key to extrude out of bound. Here I'm just going to show you that I'm going to click over here, press the shift key down, click here, and click over here. So basically it's selected these individual bounds. Okay, again, you can do this one at a time. So here just press the E key and press the Y key and just extrude out these bounds kind of like so about here. Now here we're going to click on each of these bounds and make sure that the deform is off on all of them, because these bones will become the parents of these bones over here. Now let's go ahead and change the name. So all we have to do really is just add a P to this rather than a C, because these are going to be the parents. And then finally this one over here. Okay, so you've seen this concept before when we were developing the head and neck rig. So here what we want to do is make this bone the child of this bone. Okay, so go ahead and click on this, press the shift key down, click over here, just do Control P and do keep offset. Do the same thing on this one, do Control P, do keep offset. On this one, do Control P and do keep offset. And then finally on this one, do Control P and do keep offset. So now when we switch to pose mode, you can see here that when we click on the parent and press the R key, this will rotate the hips, this will rotate the spine, this will rotate the lower chest bone, and this will rotate the upper chest bone. Okay, now what we're going to do is something a bit different here. You can see that this is the child, this is the parent, but this bone does not have a parent. So what we're going to do is make this bone the parent of this bone, while at the same time this bone is going to be the child of this bone. So to do this, all you have to do is click on this bone, press the shift key and click on this one. And now when you do Control P, here you're going to do connected. Okay, now think about what's happening here. Basically the tail of this bone is directly connected to this bone, right? Its child. This is something we can do. But when it comes to the parent-child relationships between these bones, it's being done with an offset. Okay, so here click on this one, do Control P, and here we're going to do connected. Click on this one and this one, do Control P, and now do connected. So now when you switch to pose mode, you can see that when we click on this, press the R key, the whole figure is going to move. When we click over here, just zoom out. When we press the R key, right, everything above it is now moving where it before it wasn't. Right? So the difference here is that when we were working with the head, we didn't do that. We told this bone to do a copy location and we put it on the tail of this bone, right? But here in this case, we simply just connected all of them together with parent-child relationships. So if you switch to edit mode, now just click on this bone and press the G key. You can see that how this parent-child relationship is working, okay? Right click to cancel. So go ahead and zoom out over here. Now let's go ahead and save this as a new file. So we're going to do File, Save As, and we're going to save this as Rigging Lesson 03 m.blend. Okay, so what I want you to do is go ahead and zoom in over here. And what we want to do is basically use the same technique where we're going to create a touch bone with a tracker and simply use it to first basically give us the ability to rotate the upper and lower chest bones. So to do this, go ahead and click on this joint over here. Doesn't matter what you click. Press the E key and extrude out a bone just like this. So this is going to be our touch bone. So here, just press the Y key to sever all the connections. And over here, we're just going to type in chest dot touch and enter. Make sure that the deform is off, right? So you know that when we create a touch bone, we also want to create a tracker for it. So go ahead and click on the joint and press the E key, press the Y key, and keep these bones aligned. So here I'm just going to put it like this for now. We can always change the size later, but it must be perfectly horizontal, right? So notice that these bones over here on the figure are all horizontal. We're going to basically use the same technique. So go ahead and click this, press the Y key to sever the connections. Go ahead and make sure that the deform is off. And over here, we're going to call this M dot chest dot touch dot tracker. Okay, same exact concept that we did before. Now here we want this bone to be the child of this bone. So go ahead and having this selected, press the shift key off, click on this one. Now just do Control P, and here we're going to do keep offset. So now when you switch to pose mode, click on this touch bone and press the R key. It will rotate the child. So now the question is, how do we want to use the movement of the child to rotate the upper and lower chest bones? This is easy. All we have to click on this one, press the shift key down, click on this bone over here, do shift control C, and just do copy transforms, right? Now we're going to do the same thing. Click on this one, press the shift key down, click on this one, do shift control C, and do copy transforms. So now when you click on the touch one, press the R key, you can see that we are indeed rotating the upper and lower chest. Now what I want you to do over here is to click this and go to the constraints, and over here just lower it down a little bit to around, let's say, 800. You can tinker with this. Now click on this and press the R key. So here you can see that we can control how the chest is going to curve. Okay, so that solves that issue. Now we're going to create basically the same idea to now rotate the spine. Now what you need to keep in mind about this is that basically we're placing this module over here that allows us to rotate the chest and spine in this location. This will give us the ability to actually rotate the hips. So what we want to do is to go ahead and switch to edit mode, click on a joint over here, press the E key and do the same thing. Just pull out another bone, click on it, press the Y key to sever all the connections. Make sure that the deform is off, and here we're going to call this spine dot touch and enter, right? And here I'm just going to click over here and let's say maybe change it like this. Now go ahead and click on any joint. Now press the E key, press the Y key, and do the same thing. So here I'm going to place this kind of like over here. Okay, for now. Go ahead and click this and press the Y key to sever all the connections. Make sure that the deform is off. In here we're going to call this M dot spine dot touch dot a tracker, enter. Okay, now go ahead and click on this bone, press the shift key down, click on this one, do Control P and do keep offset. Now go ahead and switch to pose mode, click on this bone and press the R key. So wherever the parent goes, the child will follow. Okay, so now here what we're going to do is basically we want this spine apparent to rotate based on how this is rotating. So we're going to click on the spine touch dot tracker, press the shift key down, click on this one, do shift control C, and here we're just going to do copy transforms. Okay, so now when we click over here and press the R key, you'll notice that we are right now rotating the spine. Now if you press the 1 key and press the R key, zoom out, you can see that this gives us the ability to rotate the figure in this way, basically give it like a belly dancer movement. Okay, so this is a functionality. This is how you add that functionality in this way. Okay, so what we're going to do over here is now basically think about, okay, so when we press the R key to rotate the chest dot touch, we actually want the spine to rotate too, right? Because we know that we can rotate the spine separately. So how can we do this? So here we can simply say that when it comes to this spine bone, we also want a little bit of the rotation from the chest dot touch dot tracker. So go ahead and click on this, press the shift key down, click on this spine, do shift control Z, and here we can do copy transforms, right? But here we can simply put this down to, let's say, around 5 maybe. Okay, so now when we click over here and just zoom out and press the R key, now you will notice that we can rotate the upper lower chest and a little bit of the spine. So this gives us the ability to do basically curve this entire upper area of the body. Notice this, that over here when you rotate it, how the head is staying perfectly still, right? Again, that's only possible, press the shift key and turn this layer on, is because of this feature we've added, right? Now if we do head follow chest and go ahead and click on this chest dot touch and press the R key, now the head will follow, right? So go ahead and turn this back off over here. So that solves that issue over here. So let's go under File and Save. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.